All right, we're back. It is COMP3025 semester, and it's week 13. And what we're going to be talking about is the presentation requirements for next week. Remember, next week there is no, which is good for you guys. On the other hand, you need to do a little bit of prep. I will be marking you as you go next week, right? Subject and so on. But we need some details on what I'm looking for, because you can't just say, well, here I am, here's my project, you know, and this is it. It's not enough. This is something you can do with your team. Please be prepared with a slide deck. I want you to put together a PowerPoint slide, or it's worth 20% of your final mark, because it is an exam. It's like an exam of your work, right? You're going to be demonstrating your work, right? In the team, you're presenting your final mobile application project, and your presentation should include details contained in your external document. So whatever we talked about in your external frames and all that stuff, screenshots, it's almost like I want you to take your external document and extrapolate from it, extract from it some of the details, and add, discuss what you're going to be doing, what you've done with your application. Again, it's going to format. It doesn't mean that I want you to read the slide deck. Okay, so your slide deck should be a background. So when you talk about your project, you know, there's some details. I want you to talk to it as a team. So it's not going to be like one presenter, right? That's like that at all. I expect you guys to kind of get up together as a team and say, you know, here's our presentation, here's our application, whatever we're building. Here are the different steps we took to create it. The good, the bad, the ugly, you know, also some stuff you think about for the future. And then demo 10 minutes. Why? Because we have everyone to get through by next week, right? At the same time, what I'm expecting to do is everyone's presentation. So don't expect to come in, do your presentation, and see you later, right? That's not part of the process, right? Remember, this is like an exam. So all that kind of stuff. Be professional. Dress like you're presenting this thing to me as a client. Okay. I know that's kind of no. I'm joking. I'm joking. As long as you don't, you know, you. What I mean is, get together, talk about your stuff, be professional, appropriate language when you present. Okay. So I don't want any swearing or anything like that, right? I know. I know. I'm saying presentation. It happens all the time, right? Oh man, you know, the F and this and F and that, and you know, if we didn't have this F problem, then this is like literally as a test, right? So one of the slides is the title page with the team logo. So your logos on it, right? It could also be a backdrop, kind of like with a screenshot of your actual application, right? You'll include what we're building, kind of summarize of you know where you got your idea, that kind of stuff. That's like slide 2. A plan, how you get together and talked about it, discussions with your team, that kind of stuff, and then you're going to demonstrate it. Or sorry, if you're making a game, right? Then you have to kind of talk about your instructions on how to use the game. Is it you know, are you swiping? What are you doing in terms of how, you know, your controls when you use the game? Right, so that's slide 4. Then you're going to demo it. So it's basically going through your application and demoing it. Now, how do you demo it on the screen? Because some of you are going to have to demo it here live, right? Up your actual phone and go, so here it is, right? That doesn't make any sense. So there is a piece of a code that I recommend for some of you. I've kind of talked about that. There's actually, it's called Reflector 2. These guys, and there's other ones out there as well. Let's see, it's available Windows and so on. And what it does is it takes your screen to you know, to produce or to show on the actual screen on your computer what's on your actual device. So if you have like an iPhone or an Android off your device, or if you're running your game, you can literally like project your actual application in the on your computer, and so that people can see it. Right? I'm going to show you this later on. I'm going to hook up my reflector with my device, and I'll show you how it works. So test it beforehand, and it says, you know, you can try reflector, and I think they give you a certain amount of days. So our recommendation is before you come in, not too many days before, right? A couple days before, so you can use the thing, because you know you don't want. I don't know if you want to pay $14 or $15 to do it. It's not a big cost. If you're serious about making Android applications or iOS applications, it's a good thing to have. To do this kind of demonstration, especially to your clients, right? If you're in front of a boardroom, right, you don't want to sit there and pass around a phone, right? You want to the screen, and that's a little easier, right? So, so my expectation is something like this, whether you have Reflector or there's other applications that the clicks, and for example, you know, there's some applications on iOS that do it a little easier, but for the most part, I'm expecting the Reflector is probably your best choice. Okay, so you demo your app after your app is you know, finished being demoed. You're not going to go through your whole slide deck. You're going to pause, demonstrate your app, and then go back to your slide deck. Okay, because you want to kind of, you know, and then finish up, close, right? And the closing is going to be around lessons learned. So what did you do well? What didn't you do well? Talk about things that you had to overcome, you know, coding challenges, something that you were trying to do that you had challenges with. Talk about those things, you and your team. And then get into where you talk about if you had more time, or, you know, if you, you know, if you could expand the scope of your project, you know, if you're going to conversion 2 of your project, what would it be, right? If you could do it. So submissions, what I expect you guys to do, this is the way, okay? Please don't come up here and do your presentation and don't submit anything on Blackboard. You need to submit your presentation, and then what I'll do is as you're going, I'll be marking different pieces of your presentation, so your marks. So that's why it's going to take a little bit of time for us to do this. We're going to take a pause between each presentation, and I'm going to kind of you know, go away with that, take a routine back and do the next one, okay? And that way everyone's done and there's nothing left over. You know what your mark is going to be at the end of the course, right? As soon as you're done, all right? That's what I want you guys to, I want you to be in state for next week, right? There's a number of teams that I'm seeing, and there's teams that are missing today. I think about 6 teams or 7 teams, something like that, maybe 8 teams in in this class, right? So you figure if 8 teams, you take 10 minutes, approximately 5. To get feedback from you as well, like what they could have done different, what they like, what they didn't like, those kind of things. So be prepared. That's your exam. If your team comes in and it's not prepared, guys, if your team comes in and it's not prepared to present, you fail the exam. All right? Well, my team member couldn't make it for the presentation. All right? This is an exam. It's not like you're going to present for everybody else. It's not like that. This is like your whole team has to be here. If it's not anyone who's not here, 0. All right? That's how it is. Clear? That's fair, right? So that way, you know, it's not like one person's taking of the details. Anyone have any questions around this? Again, this, just to reiterate, your final exam, it's your presentation, right? I'm giving you a week's, you know, time to get it together, as well as, of course, complete the rest of your stuff, right? So by the time you guys get together next week, you guys should have a pretty good plan of what you're going to talk about. I would rehearse it for 5 or 10 minutes. Like, you know, get together with the presentation. Don't do it like last minute. So you've, you know, kind of slap your presentation together and come in. Every aspect of your presentation, including what your slides look like, how you present it, your tone of voice, everything I will be marking you on, all right? So if you're a crappy presenter, practice, right? Because it's going to be all about. Think about this as a pitch. You're pitching your client, and they're going to invest in your money in you, right? And if you don't do a good job, I don't know, see how good you are, right? But, you know, that's how it goes, right? So I wanted to talk about this because it's like what, one of your last courses in your on the time here at Georgian, and you have, I think you have another one, and maybe another couple of done, right? So this is one of these culmination kind of exercises where you talk about your product, and it's a good exercise for you to, you know, practice, put things together in a report. It's almost like a final report for your project, that kind of thing, and it builds on your external documents. So if you're not doing great up till now, it's going to affect your presentation value. So please patch up any things that you're missing in your external document. I'm recording this thing so that way you can and say, what did he talk about? What is it? What are the requirements? So please don't ask me like, so what did you mean? What did you want? It's right here in the recording, right? Go back and watch and listen to what I'm saying, because this is the stuff that you're going to be judged on. Okay, I know some people, they're not great at presenting, and they're like, Tom, I'm not a great presenter. I don't like standing up in front of the class, right? If this is what you're going to be doing, if you want to be a developer, at some point or another in your career, this is an opportunity for you to practice. So if you're, I mean, I would start early, like I said, and practice it beforehand to make it all go. Okay, that's it for me.
How long in total the presentation should be?
10 minutes max. Practice. 10 minutes, yeah, 10 minutes. Demo your stuff, take your time, pace yourself. Don't rush through your slides. There's going to be questions from the class, expectation, and then you're going to be doing your presentation. What's the problem, Peter? 10 minutes up in front of everybody. Yeah, that's crazy. It's okay if you go to a few minutes over. It's okay, but if you go too long, it's going to work against you in terms of marks, right? Yeah. This is your final, unless you want to get 0, it's up to you, right? Okay. Anything else? Package this off, and then I want to sit with the teams again and go over your projects. Okay. Let's shut this one down.